Another edition of Riding Home. Dean Legge, Matt DeBary. Dean in an undisclosed location. Matt, Georgia, taking care of business against the Vols today, but not without difficulty. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Yeah, they gave Tennessee 7 points on the second snap from scrimmage. High snap from Trey Hill, who's got to get that under control. This is not the first time we've seen that from him this year. Stetson Bennett, Zamir White couldn't fall on the ball. Tennessee jumps on it. They're up 7-0. Georgia goes up 14-7. Looked like they were going to take control of the game from there. But then there was the call, the 4th and short by Kirby Smart. They didn't get it on their own side of the field. Tennessee scores a touchdown on the next play and basically gave them life. But at the end of the day, Dean, Georgia was clearly a better team. And we knew that in the first half, just didn't see it. But in the second half, they literally ran over Tennessee, just like they did Auburn. They're a second-half team, and they proved that they were clearly a better team in that second half. But it was an ugly first half, to say the least.
Yeah, that's one way to put it. I mean, they did basically, Georgia did everything they could do to give Tennessee life, a team that is probably better maybe than we gave them credit for, but they're not a team that's going to win this conference, okay? And certainly not after today. So they needed everything to go their way, and at the end of the day, they got beaten pretty solidly. I think, to me, the most fascinating part about all this to me was that Kirby's ability, Kirby is about risk. Like, what I mean to say by that is it doesn't bother him to roll the dice. And I wanted him to talk about that. Like, how did he learn that tonight? I think he took that the wrong way, which is, because one problem was my question came right after someone who said they would not have gone for it. I don't know why. I don't know. Anyway. But I do think you've got a coach there that's on 4th and 1 saying, hey, we should get this in, all right? And, the other 4th and 1, maybe not on the 30-yard line. But that's where I was talking about risk assessment, Matt. I mean, you can't play scared, as Calipari would say. Scared money makes no money.
Yeah. I'm not sure I would have agreed with the call on their own end zone. I thought they would just punt it, play good defense, and go from there. But, he made the right decision on the goal line. They just didn't execute. But,
Right.
that's the right move. Georgia's offensive line didn't dominate the way I thought they would. And maybe Tennessee's defensive line and defense in general is better than we thought. Probably are. They probably were better than I thought. But he said it over and over. They didn't execute on offense. And that's something that, they got to go back to the drawing board there. The offensive line has to play better if they want to win next week for sure. But Kearis Jackson, another monster game. He's become the safety blanket for Stetson Bennett.
Yeah.
Zamir had a tough game, but the running game was there here and there. We saw some bursts from Kenny McIntosh, who I think could play a little bit more. Kendall Milton had some nice runs. So there's still improvement to work on for sure on offense, but defensively, they gave up the 2 touchdowns. One was probably a little bit of a push-off that they didn't call. You see that happens, kind of a 50-50 play there. But other than those 2 deep passes, the defense, held them in check pretty good. -1 rushing yards for Tennessee. -1.
They got a long way to go before they catch Georgia. Yeah. I mean, they're not in their universe right now. And, when you're sitting there and you're watching a game, this team can score so fast, man. And this defense can score. I mean, this is another game where the defense scores a touchdown. Whenever the defense scores, whenever the special teams score, the likelihood of you winning a game or losing a game shift dramatically. So at the start of this game, Georgia gives away 7 points. And, that's all the way to put it. But, I thought Tennessee stuck in there and fought. That's the way Jeremy is. They're fighters, and that's good. They're just not at the level of Georgia. Are they the level of Florida? They could be. It will depend. I mean, the Gators, you just can't give away games today. I mean, we saw 2 brand-name games today. 2 teams that are brand-name teams today, Matt, that just gave away wins. Can't happen.
Yeah, Florida's defense is so bad. They can't tackle anyone. Yeah. And that's kind of a theme across college football, except for Georgia. They're making tackles. They're where they're supposed to be. They make plays on the football, and we saw them score again. But Florida, Texas A&M, Auburn, all these teams are just struggling a lot, tackling, the ball carrier. Georgia doesn't have that problem.
I don't want to go on too long. I thought I've seen Georgia play better than that. But I do wonder, Matt, and I'll let you answer this and then we'll wrap. Sometimes you don't play well at all and you win. And today that happened for Georgia. They've got a pile of things to clean up before they go to Alabama. But the win today, it counts. They won again by 20-plus points. I mean, Jeremy has made improvements at Tennessee. Excuse me. You can't lose to your rivals by 20-something points consistently. And their biggest 3 games were Tennessee, Bama, Florida, and the Dogs, and they've not been within 20 points of any of those games with Jeremy at the control. But they did play well today, and then it just imploded.
I thought they did too. I did think they played really well, especially in that first half.
Yes.
Real quick before we go, I want to get your thoughts on Stetson Bennett. We haven't talked about the quarterback play yet on the podcast. What did you think of him today?
It was adequate. I mean, I know he can play better. He's going to have to play better against Alabama, against Clemson, against the Gators. The run game not being there was bad. And, this Georgia team has got a ways to go still, win or lose at Alabama. They've got a ways to go still. But they're in position now to they can move forward with this game, and they're playing with house money next week. I think Stetson's got to play better, though. Yeah.
And again, they still haven't played their best. Too many penalties today. That's not going to work next week. But overall, I thought they looked like a top 5 team in the second half.
How many run yards does Georgia have?
Oh,
it was over 100.
It was over 100.
It wasn't 200. I can assure you of that.
No, I still think Zamir was the leading rusher, but it wasn't by much. But again, they got 4 or 5 guys the ball, it seemed like. Still got to play better offensively.
Yes.
Defensively, they might have the best defense in college football, and I think they proved that again today.
I think they probably do. All right, Dean Legge, Matt DeBary from Undisclosed Locations, and we'll see you tomorrow morning for Legge's Thoughts.